This is Matt with Matt's BBQ Pits, and today we're going to talk about traditional flow and reverse flow on a backyard smoker. First, we'll look at how we set up our traditional flow smokers. Okay, we set it up with the tuning plate system. The tuning plate system help push or deliver heat over from the right to the left and balance out the temp pretty well. When we use the tuning plates, we have the stacks mounted up here. The reason being is because the plates distribute the heat and even it out from one side to the other, we do want the stack up higher so that smoke seepage from below the plates comes through and up to make sure that you get some smoke on your meat. Otherwise, the smoke would just exhaust right through if you have the stack mounted down low. It would exhaust right through and you'd barely get any smoke on your meat at all. If that's something that you want, we can definitely build your traditional flow smoker to have the stack mounted down lower in the center. We don't have a problem with that. We've also built them with the manifold. That's kind of nice that you can buy a cover as well and have the stack removable and be able to cover your pit easily. Cooks who are buying a traditional flow are usually doing the fire or cook method where they're putting coals on the bottom and then a couple pieces of smaller wood and trying to have as clean a fire as they can. Personally, having a lot of experience barbecuing, if you have the tuning plates all touching, that's kind of a redundant method because it exhausts the excess smoke out the stack so easily without touching the meat, unless you gap the plates pretty good or remove them. Therefore, you wouldn't need a large firebox if you were putting just a couple little pieces of wood in there on your coals to run your smoker. Now, with that method, sure, you'll have a cleaner burning fire, but you will have to babysit the smoker a bit more and add wood. Let's take a look now at our reverse flow system. A reverse flow system will usually come with the big firebox. Most buyers will not buy a reverse flow with the small firebox or the little round one on it. The reason is a reverse flow smoker, especially on a backyard size pit, is going to have a more stable temperature as it's running. Like it does with the tuning plates on the other one, it does distribute out the heat more evenly so you don't have a super hot side and a cool side, but you can use the whole smoker. You do have to tune out the last plate I've found. I was scooting it over sometimes, depending on the model, to balance out the incoming heat over here with the radiant heat on the firebox side, and it does work. Get a real even temperature right to left. Our stack is mounted over here toward the rear. There's the opening. While the reverse flow system is running, you can stack logs the big diameter logs, you know, close up to the top. A lot of guys will be saying, well, wouldn't that put a lot of smoke on your meat? Well, if you're cooking a brisket and you're wrapping it after a few hours, it just doesn't matter that much because it's only getting smoke on it for a few hours, and you can wrap it anyways. Other meats like ribs, chicken, just not going to be on very long. And again, you can do the same fire method with having some coals down there and putting a couple logs on here as you can with the smaller round firebox on the traditional flow. You can do all of that. You can also regulate the level of smokiness with your tuning plates by removing or moving a plate over or 2 plates over. Advantage of the reverse flow smoker over the traditional is that you can remove half the plates if you're just cooking one brisket, and it'll run like a small short pit because the exhaust turns that corner. Now, with this system, with the big firebox, you can load it up real good and, you know, wait hours and hours before having to add wood. I set my air intake dial adjustment just right. I've learned where to crack it open, and I have my stack wide open, and it flows and runs great. I'm one of those that doesn't have much time to babysit a fire. We have a lot of work to do at this shop, and I'm not going to be able to sit around adding logs every 30 minutes to an hour. So I like the big firebox. I would say one of the disadvantages on a reverse flow smoker is if you have a commercial size unit, if you're stuffing it up full of briskets to where the air can't flow back, would be a problem. But usually that's the issue on the commercial size units, where you would want the air to keep going. But the reverse flow stack even has a benefit to those, because you can run a large pit like that, like a small pit, and use way less wood. So the reverse flow smoker, I noticed on the backyard pit, will have a more stable temperature. The traditional flows, while operating, will have this temperature spike as the fire burns through the wood at a certain point, and spike way up and then come right back down. And the reverse flows seem to not do that so much. It's buffered by the design of how it flows. It has a better regulation of the burn or munch rate on the wood. Other than that, either style or way is a great choice. Some woods like live oak or post oak, you may want traditional flow because they're more bitter tasting. Other woods like a mesquite or blackjack red oak, I really prefer the reverse flow smoker. The meat and baked potatoes and everything come out a lot softer, it seems, and kids like that too. Anyways, this is Matt with Matt's BBQ Pits, and I figure I'd show you the differences between reverse flow and traditional flow styles, and talk about, the differences so you can help you make your purchase. Hope to see you soon.